that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure foe. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show. Introducing the Ballin' Bud 703 Boys Crew, Clubber D, Dirty Mojo, Shane Peach, and the Sports Professor. Welcome to Sunday Showdown. Yes, yo, what up, friends? A special edition of Sunday Showdown. Let's call it Saturday Showdown because we talking mostly college ball. Today, we are going to review the past 2 weeks of the college football playoffs. Been some blowouts, but have also been some really amazing games, some upsets. Some of us on here called Dirty Mojo. And so we got a lot of things to talk about. We are happy that you joined us. Make sure you hit that like button, whether watching now or on the replay. Helps everybody out here in the algorithm. Also, make sure you hit that QR code up top. It will take you to all Ballin' Buds socials. Make sure you subscribe at Ballin' Buds, BALLANDBUDS. As well, you'll find Clubber D's YouTube and TikTok up there at that QR code. You can find Dirty Mojo at Dirty Mojo on Instagram, and you can find Shane Peach at Peach-O-Mania on Twitter for all the Bears fans that still want to harass him. And a happy new year to everybody. We hope everybody's been blessed as this new year has been started. I personally will dedicate this one to my grandmother. May she rest in peace. And as well, I'm going to the Amanda Serrano fight tonight. Me and my pops are. It's going to be an amazing time. Late. 12 o'clock main walk is late, but we're going to try to stay up as best as possible. We're ringside, so hopefully that'll keep me awake. Clubber D, what are your thoughts on anything going on this week, New Year's, all that good stuff?
Oh, man, it's weird. Today feels like a Sunday. We're just talking about that. We got to kick it back in gear, get back to work on Monday. Hopefully everyone had a great New Year's. The games, was it on Friday? I think the TV was watching me most of the time, but they were. I'm glad they weren't that great until later. But we're here to talk about it. Let's go.
There you go, Dirty Mojo. How was your New Year's and holidays?
My New Year was pretty good. Actually, I'll tell you like this, man. I did what I did last year. I went to sleep. I woke up about 3 minutes before the ball dropped. I watched the ball drop, and I went right back to sleep. But hey, look, I got a question. I got a question to ask. Is it Happy New Year or Happy New Year's with an S? I always wondered that. Which one is it?
It's a good one.
That definitely belongs on the Random Thoughts episode that y'all did.
Also, like Curb Your Enthusiasm, when's the cutoff for saying Happy New Year after the New Year? Is it the first week or second week? Like
I think I heard a really good one on this one. So if you work with people and you see them, all the time, the first time is enough. You don't need to keep saying it after that. But if you don't see somebody and it's one of your friends and you ain't seen them for 2 weeks after New Year's, you can still say Happy New Year because you ain't seen them. That's what somebody told me. Okay, that sounds all right. Peach, what about you? How was your New Year's?
It was good. It was lazy, the adult New Year's, like Lamar said, like when you get in your 40s, hey, getting a good night's rest and just enjoying yourself is great. And I would say it's Happy New Year because we're only talking about this year, right?
Yeah.
So years is kind of like, it would have to be more than one. It's plural. So I'd say just year. Happy New Year.
And you know what? Now that you say that, Peach, I'm thinking of how they say it in Spanish, which is Prospero Año Nuevo. And that's just 1 year as well. It's not plural. So there you go. Hey, good job, Peach. I like that. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Rock Chalk, we love you. Clubber D was able to tune in on New Year's. I wasn't, but he said it was an awesome show. But we see you got Indiana all the way. We'll talk about that.
She had an English DJ.
What was that?
She had a DJ. I think she was from England.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
There you go. Canteen, we hope you get that car fixed, brother. Hopefully we'll get you on here. If you don't show up today, then definitely next week for that college football show.
that we're going to do.
Hey guys, he might need a canteen if he doesn't get his car fixed. He'll be walking a lot. Need that water.
The Three Amigos with sand in it.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Oh Lord. I can see it. I can still see that shit, bro. Damn. Oh man.
Remember, he's going into jail. He's trying to get.
I'm gonna watch that shit now this weekend.
Oh,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch that shit, man.
He's dying of thirst. He's chugging off.
Oh God. Oh man. Oh shit.
That's funny.
Oh Lord.
I believe you're talking about the classic Three Amigos, but
Yes.
okay, that's what I thought. Okay, yes, the classic. That's a great movie. What a great movie that is. Rock Chalk live at 12:30. Wanted to show love. No, we appreciate you coming in early. And yeah, look. I mean, we're not going to get into it because this isn't a politics show. But Trump and Venezuela, that's causing a lot of problems. They just suspended all flights from Puerto Rico, so I can't even get home if they don't open up these flights again. So, what'd you say?
That's it. Better get a boat.
A boat? Yeah, I'm gonna take a boat. No, I'll be staying here until they reinstitute them flights again. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's getting crazy in this world. Y'all better calm down. Yeah, my cousin just joined it. He's an infantry in the army. He's with us right now, but he has to go back on Monday. So we're trying to find out if he has a flight back yet or not. But yeah, prayers for your children and for their safety and everything. We want to make sure that they stay good, Rock Chalk. We love you here. As well, who else we got in the comments? We got you also said Journey at My Place from England. I think you guys' song was good. Okay, so the DJ was DJ Journey. And then shout out, let's see, I was not okay with Iraq either. Hey, a lot of people did not like that war. So, but it's whoever's in charge makes those decisions, and unfortunately, we have to deal with it. Shout out Jorge, tuning in, really appreciate it. Says Venezuela is a joke of a country. Trump just saved them. That is one opinion. Again, not going to opine on this as it's a football show, but we really appreciate you.
Yeah, we're going to detour from politics. We're going to get back to football and sports, people. Okay. Sorry.
Definitely love all the comments.
Yeah, just
about it all day.
Not this. It's a place.
I agree. Let's kick it off and get into it. First one we had was a huge upset. Oh, you know what? No, let's go ahead and go all the way back first. I want to go all the way back first. Let's show the actual results from the first round. And we'll get any overall thoughts here, gentlemen, on the first round. Obviously, you had Oregon winning that matchup. You had Alabama with for us, the upset since we all picked Oklahoma. Ole Miss over Tulane. Everybody thought that was going to happen. And then Miami, obviously the upset there over Texas A&M. Clubber D, we got to start with you. James Madison did not do you well, although they didn't play a bad game. That they did not make your pick well off. What did you think?
As we mentioned the other week about this pick, I picked this because if we all pick the same stuff, it's going to be kind of boring. All right, this is the only game I felt that they could knock off Oregon. Okay, and speaking, I'm glad you brought them up because what's happening to that organization, to that school right now, is a travesty. You know how many people jumped in the transfer portal this year? Like their running back, their receiver, their all-world defensive end. It's a joke. And I'm going to divert from my pick just to talk about how bad of the situation the transfer portal is going on for that team.
I like it. You know what? Yeah. You're completely right. I saw an article. I was reading an article yesterday that there are some crazy amount of number. I think it's like 3,000, 3,100 players that have entered the transfer portal. And somebody real funny I don't know who they are, but on Twitter, or X, they were like, okay, I understand needing to transfer, but how do 3,300 kids need to transfer in 1 year? And it's the most by like 25% or more over like last year. Dirty Mojo, what are your thoughts on this game? You called this. You called one of these upsets here, the Miami one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, So, are we talking about the JMU, or are we just talking about the overall last?
You can talk about JMU. You can talk about whatever you want.
Well, I will say this: even though Dion was the only one that picked JMU, I think all of us kind of were cheering for JMU to win because we're from Virginia.
Yeah,
and actually, it was pretty funny because when Dion picked that pick, the next pick he had picked Oregon to beat them, and I was like, that was your chance to have JMU going up against Signetti. You know, the team that he left to go to Indiana to play. Like, you should have done that, but he didn't do that.
I was thinking about it. I think too hard.
But when they spotted Oregon 34 points in the first half, and then they did play better in the second half. Unfortunately, you can't go against a Power 4 conference team like that, like Oregon, who has the experience, who has the 4 and 5 star players, and expect to win that game. Had they played that second half, like if they played the first half like they played the second half, it could have been a funner game for us to watch. I do like the way that they fought it out compared to what Tulane did. Tulane just rolled over and took it. You know what I'm saying? As far as the Ohio State game, I said it, man. I said it a few weeks ago when they played Michigan. They didn't look impressive to me. They weren't a very impressive looking team to me. Michigan was a young team, and they kind of like went back and forth. Now you do know that is their arch rival, so it's going to be a little bit of head banging going on there. But I thought Miami would have had the more experience as far as the quarterback was concerned in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I thought he was going to have the most experience, and that defense is just swarming, man. I mean, they've had what was they said 12 sacks in the 2 games. That's fucking unreal, bro. That's unreal. It's unreal. Now, I do have one young man that actually plays for Miami that I coach. His name is Brennan Burton. So I'm cheering for Miami to go all the way just for those guys.
Wow.
I message him all the time. He messages me, thank me for reaching out to him and everything like that. But yeah, and then as far as I'm concerned, you guys see my Georgia back there. I'm a dog till the day I die. I said it when we had our little thing. I said the one team that I was concerned about was Ole Miss, and I said I would have been more concerned about them had they had Lane Kiffin on the sideline. It was the exact same atmosphere, exact same game style that they did when they were in Athens, Georgia. I will go back and say this though: I do wish that this quarterfinals would be home games. I do hope that they change that. Let the semifinals be on these nice stadiums like that, but. Yes, I think, Georgia and Ohio State, they should have had that chance to play at their home stadium with their live band and with most of their fans at those games. I'm not saying that was the outcome of the game. Had they been in Georgia, they would have won the game. But it's just, I think, a little bit more of that college atmosphere. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll be back next year. We have a very young defense. I think Gunnar Stockton's coming back. Zachariah Branch is coming back. We got a really good team coming back for next year. So I'm not too worried about it. We have a championship in the last 5 years, so I'm okay with it.
And we'll talk a little bit more in depth about that game here shortly. Again, as I mentioned last week, and you just reiterated that it's not just that you're playing in your home field that you should have earned throughout the season, right? But it's also that the teams that won the most games and were the best are the ones you're giving the buys and aren't even getting that chance. And they should be the ones that are getting the home game since they were the best teams in the country, as you mentioned. So I agree there, and that should be something that's changed.
It's a neutral field, and I saw somebody, because I'm in one of those Facebook things. Somebody said that there was more Ole Miss fans at that game than Georgia fans. Not that matters. I mean, it's in the Cotton Bowl. Whatever. Yeah, it does.
Well, it's Texas. They were in where were they at for that game?
They were in. It wasn't Dallas. Cotton was in.
Let me see.
Well,
it was the Super Bowl in Louisiana, New Orleans.
Yeah, it's because Wisconsin's quicker and closer, Mississippi.
All right, so let's take another look at this bracket, Peach, and we're going to come to you on this one. So, any thoughts on these first round games here that we had on the left side?
I don't think anything surprised me. I mean, of course, there was technically upsets, but things went like I thought they kind of should. JMU, they were overmatched. But, I mean, like I said, I agree with Dion. We picked that from the heart. He picked it from the heart. Virginia guys all on this podcast. Yeah. So there's that. I think Miami's defense is what's really surprising me, man. Like, I knew they were good, but, man, they are looking killer. And you asked me a question on Sunday Showdown. Who do I want my Commanders to draft? Did you not? And I was like, I haven't really thought about it. Ruben Bain would be my guy.
Oh, yeah.
We need to jump a few. We still need to jump a few spots. But that guy is a monster. And, that's my answer. This weekend, if things go right, we can jump up a few spots. That's my guy.
I would love that pick for anybody's team. That dude is going to be a beast in the NFL. So again, taking a look, one more look here. I'm not going to add too much to what the gentleman had to say. It was pretty straightforward on these games. We did all pick Oklahoma. I was a little surprised Ty Simpson played better than I thought he would after I ran him down a couple weeks ago with all them stats for the past couple games. He proved me wrong, and he came out and they beat a really good Oklahoma defense, which is what we talked about and which we thought was going to be the key. Unfortunately, it was not here. I do agree with you, Lamar, on the Miami experience thing that was mentioned and how that has been, really effective in advancing them in the tournament with, Ruben Bain and I'm missing out on the quarterback's name right now for Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Are all these other players that they have that are experienced players?
Well, that was the thing. If you watch a lot of commentary going on for the week, they just said Carson Beck just don't lose it for him. He just can maintain the game, and he has the experience to do it. Because the game against Louisville, it wasn't his fault that they lost that game, but the game against SMU, he threw 4 or 5 interceptions. That was the game that he lost that game for them. So he went in there. He didn't lose the Texas A&M game. He kept it regular. He didn't lose the Ohio State game. He threw for 160, 165 yards and a touchdown. That defense was just smothered. Julian Sayin couldn't do anything, man. He could not do anything against that defense. It was smothering.
So what you're saying is he is a game manager at the next level. I think we would be able to say at this point. I mean, he's not even going to be.
He has the ability to be a 250, 275 yard, a touchdown or 2 touchdowns, interception type guy.
Okay.
But when you have that defense that they have, you don't have to be that 275, 2 touchdowns to win a game. Just don't be the 250. 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions guy and lose by a field goal. You know what I'm saying? So That's what he did against Ohio State, and they had a game plan for Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State. I think it was another game where Ohio State only had 30 yards rushing. They couldn't do nothing. And then they had 100. I think what was it? Miami had 165, 100 something like that rushing up. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Miami has played so well in the playoffs, and we will talk about their upset here right now. Huge upset. Wow. I don't think, many people saw this coming. Yes, we talk about the experience, but Miami 24 over Ohio State 14. Now, I did see something posted again on the X that someone had posted, and they said, so Ohio State beat their first opponent by whatever. It was 10 or 7. They beat their last opponents by 7 and 3 or whatever it is. I don't know the exact amounts. And he said in between that, they beat a bunch of cupcakes. So how powerful really was Ohio State? And can these bigger conferences, well, we know they can. It's a kind of a rhetorical question, but these bigger conferences can buy their way to better records, which may allow for defeats in the playoffs like that. Peach, what are your thoughts? We'll start with you, Miami and Ohio State.
Yeah, man. Like I said earlier, Miami's defense just seems like a beast right now, especially. But hey, how great has this playoffs been? I mean, this is exactly what the committee wanted, right? We have 4 new teams, man. We're gonna have a new champion, and that's exciting. Like I said, as far as Ohio State, they might have been a little overrated than everybody thought because, like you said, the cupcakes and whatnot. But, it is what it is, right? I mean, they're always going to get the votes if they have the record that they have. And it is what it is, and that might be the flaw of this thing. But, adding more teams worked so far, gentlemen. This year has been pretty damn good.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how, because there have been a myriad of ways that people have come up with over the past few weeks. And this started when the group of 5 teams, Tulane especially, got blow the fuck out. Well, you know what I mean? That was really bad. And James Madison, although they scored a lot of points, still wasn't really a game. It was still a big, handy defeat. And so a lot of people, in their opinions, were saying, don't mind my uncle up here, were saying that do the group of 5 even belong in the playoffs? What can we do? Do you have do you add teams to add more parity, but also bring in teams that are maybe less qualified? Do we go back constrict to 8 teams, leave out a group of 5, let them have their own playoffs too, is another idea I saw out there. Dirty Mojo, we'll start with you on this. What are your thoughts? Anything on how to fix this system or what you would do next?
I like the group of 5 being in there. I don't want to get rid of the group of 5 because then you will diminish that side of the football field. They are Division I single A. They have the ability to do the things that they can do. The problem is that the Power 4 conferences are too big. They have to separate the Power 4 conferences into 2, like they used to be, SEC West and SEC East, and let those teams play each other so that they can have a true champion, not whoever has the best record, right? You got to do it that way. I think the Big Ten has, 18 teams in it, and they don't play each other. They don't all play each other. So it kind of looks like a way that's like, are these teams really as good as they are, and those teams really as bad as they are? The Power 5 is good for me. I would change. The only thing, like I said, I would change is that, hey, let's separate these conferences back again so that you have the leader of the SEC East, SEC West, the Big Ten East and West and stuff like that, so that we have a true champion. Other than that, if not, it's going to be the same way. These guys are going to they're going to have to schedule cupcakes because they got to play a certain amount of people in their division. But how can you just go based off of, hey, we have the best record in our division, but you might have played the bottom 7 in the whole SEC or the bottom 7 in the whole ACC. So it's not really a fair fight. I don't like.
Now we say that, but we all know the SEC and the Big Ten are the 2 conferences no matter what. That's the standard. And yes, they have some sorry teams, right? Me and Peach both know Maryland and UCLA, not great, right? They're in the Big Ten football teams, not great, right? So you're going to get cupcakes along your schedule, but they're still, those cupcakes are better than most mid-majors.
But Omar, here's the thing though. With the whole thing with the NIL deals, and now these kids can start to get paid a little bit more money. We talk about this in the NFL. The number one goal in the NFL is to do what? To win your division. Sure. Get to the dance afterwards. If you know that I have to just win to get to the championship game out of 7 teams or 7 teams in my conference, in my division, I have a better chance of getting to that area. If I know that I got to go through 18 and it's going to it doesn't work that way. Like, hell, shit, I got to be top 2 of 18 instead of top 1 or 2 of this. It doesn't work. I don't like that. I like the fact that give them the opportunity to say, hey, we can win this division. We can win our division to play again in our division in the SEC championship, ACC championship, Big Ten championship, Pac-12, whatever, Big 12. So got to split them up, man. Even if they did it in 4, it wouldn't bother me because you're making it a way that these guys can all have a true number 1 team. Not like, for instance, Alabama shouldn't have been in this shit, bro. They shouldn't have been. No, I go by it now. Notre Dame should have been the team in there, and Alabama showed that they should have been in there, and they weren't good. They were not good enough to do it. But that's going back. That's Notre Dame's fault. Get your ass in the division, and you would have been in this.
I disagree. I think Notre Dame should not have been in. They had a 43 ranked strength schedule. I agree with what you're saying as far as like how they seeded, but you're looking at a Miami team who didn't win the ACC. Look what they're doing right now. You look at Ohio State, like you mentioned earlier. I've always said this about Ohio State. They're so overrated because they don't play barely nobody all year and still are high regarded as, X, Y, and Z. I'll say one thing though. I mentioned this before about the whole Hawaii Colt Brennan going against Georgia and getting smacked, and then you got the Boise State going against Oklahoma, Adrian Peterson, and winning. So you do want to kind of give those underdog schools a chance, but you cannot disrespect or lower the Division I schools that fight a tougher that do a tougher schedule. Now, for me, it's like those years when Clemson was dominating and dominating the ACC, and they're like, "Oh, the ACC stinks," but they're winning national titles. So how sorry is the ACC if they're representing the ACC and winning and beating everybody? You know what I'm saying? So you got to let. I think they should just split the whole nation in half. Have East and West, the top whatever get in, kind of like basketball. Do something like that. That would alleviate a lot of stuff.
So that's a good idea too. The thing with is that, you're going to say who's playing who. The reason why when you split up the divisions, what that does is it makes, so the Big Ten, they have 18 teams, right? Now you only have to play, I think they're playing 12 regular season games. So if I split that up now and it's only 8 teams that I have to play, I can schedule 5 out-of-conference games. I can play a Tennessee. I can play an Ole Miss.
That's where they have to come in.
Where now the strength of schedule is like, okay, cool. Look, they scheduled these guys and they won, or it was a close game compared to, 4 of my wins were against the 1-10 Kentucky Wildcats and the 1-10 11 Arkansas Razorbacks. It doesn't. It's not going to
Yeah,
help you out.
that's where another committee should come in and kind of make you play the top people, kind of like NFL. If you're the best team, you're playing the number one teams of every division. If you're the lowest team or whatever, you're playing the worst teams. So they should match that every year. They should revolve it. But there's so much money in Ohio State or Michigan playing Grambling, which happened this year. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing, Clever D. You're right. Is that they have the rotating schedules where in Ohio State has to go to a Rutgers or a Maryland or a UCLA every few years because they want that exposure too, like every other team. So when you have 18 teams in a division, as we talked about, you're not going to play everybody every year, Lamar. And you're going to get cupcakes some year, but at least it's on a rotating schedule. Not that makes it any better. We all know, and I've been saying this for the past couple years, they just need to go to a super conference, just one huge super conference. 32 teams, whatever you want to make it, have the best teams in there. Maybe it even gets to, Chip Kelly said at one time 64. I think that's ridiculous, but you can see it getting to that era where it's going to be a super conference type of league. And let's get to some of these comments, Peach, and we'll come to you after that. But I definitely want to shout out Champ Ross, who and Clubber D were going back and forth on this, but they both make great points. Champ Ross says that these Notre Dame fans are delusional. Yeah, they are. They're stuck in you're right. They have the ACC for, other sports, lacrosse, all these other things. But when it comes to football, they want to be independent because, as Clubber D just said, it's all about that money.
NBC money. They giving that up.
Exactly. They got the NBC TV deal. So they will go ahead and schedule, as you mentioned, Schools of the Blind, which is fucking hilarious. Thank you for that laugh today, Champ Ross. But yeah, it's true. They are able to do those sorts of things because they are independent. And while we all probably think it's, BS that they're independent, they have parlayed that themselves over the years and have made it to a point where it's pretty, indestructible at this point, unless they get forced by every, school in the nation. Shout out to Nadine Calderon. Shout out. We appreciate you tuning in there on Clubber D's channel. And as well, Champ Ross asked, how many teams is max for the playoffs? 16? Is that the max? What would you all say?
Oh, it's 12 now, right? So
right. So, but what would you go max?
That means you have to give 4 buys then, right?
At some point, the buys are going to continue to escalate.
I think it should stay at 12, man.
I think we should stay at 12, see how it goes. Because if a new school is going to win this year, that's just that's sweetening the deal to get more exposure to those other schools and prove that it's not going to be the Alabamas and whoever's dominating. So 12's fine, but I wouldn't mind 16.
Okay. Beach, Dirty Mojo, any thoughts?
I like 12. And I'll keep this short and sweet with my thoughts on this. I like everybody's ideas, but here's the problem. And I'm going to bring up how we're old again. This system has changed a billion times since we've been kids. And there's always a complaint. So it doesn't matter how you change it, guys.
Yeah.
Somebody else is going to complain
always
down the line. So we're always going to be here, regardless of how it's changed. There's
going to be that 17th team that got left out. Like, I got left out. Like, damn, motherfucker, you couldn't be in the top 16. Yeah. Damn.
How about you win all your games? You get there.
You change it to Dion's way, and then all the teams that are like on the lower level are going to bitch, right? Like, it's going to happen. Like, I say keep it the same. It's been great this year. I enjoyed it.
It was great. It was. Here's something that I do believe the NCAA for football needs to do, though. They have to get rid of preseason rankings and stuff like that because you're ranking teams like South Carolina. South Carolina was ranked I think 8th at the beginning of the season. They only won 3 fucking games. Yeah. So get rid of that shit. Let's go with the whole I would go with like the whole BCS style. Let these teams play. Let's see how they play. Let's see how bad they beat teams. Let's see how close they are on the road, away. And then by like week 6, now you're starting to put, okay, this team looks like the number 1 team. This team looks like the number 2 team.
Thank you.
Can't say shit like that.
You bring up
no preseason in college.
No, none of that shit. Get rid of that shit, man.
Yeah, you bring up a great point with that. They do have to get rid of that. And with the portal and everything, the season changes from year to year so quickly. Like you can be a bad team and jump up to a good team real quick. So yeah, you're right. Those preseason rankings make 0 sense at all because you don't know who's good with all the changes that happen.
That's right. You're a team like Florida State who beats a ranked Alabama team, and then all of a sudden you're now ranked 13th. Like, How did we win 3 games last year? Weren't ranked, beat Alabama, now we're ranked 13th.
Because Florida State, they need to keep those schools. They need to keep those afloat. Those marquee schools, they have to keep them above all these other schools fighting to get there.
Get rid of it. Get rid of the preseason and the rank. Get rid of that shit right now. Just do it.
You hit it right on the head, and I said this on one of my shows months ago when I started the college football season. I did the preseason rankings. I said all this is doing is choosing blue bloods and mostly powerhouses that you're putting in at the beginning of the season, which is giving them an unfair advantage of being at the top. That now these other teams that you haven't put in the top 25, which maybe are deserving, now have to make this climb up this imaginary ladder that you created for them at the beginning of the season. I agree with you completely. Wait till week 6, week 8. Why do we need that shit? There's no reason for us to have it. It's nothing more than just decoration.
You know why?
It is.
Because
it is.
We're starting. It's called ratings. We started season off with Ohio State versus Texas, number 1 versus number 3 or something like that. So everybody's tuned in, watching that, and Fox and everyone's doing, and Gus Johnson's doing backflips. Oh my God, so we're all tuned in because that's why they do it.
And especially if you're not the number 1 team in the country. I mean, you could be the number 5 team in the country, but be the number 2 seed in the in the college football. So what's the difference now? What's the point now? I don't know what Miami was ranked at the end of the season, but they were the 11th. They were the 10th, 11th seed. Okay.
Yep. I think you do this system one more year. See how 12 teams does. If the group of 5, let's say, gets another 2 teams in somehow, which I fucking highly doubt that's ever happening again. But let's say they do. And they were both to get blown out again. We might see some changes, maybe even some contract. I would honestly, if you're gonna ask me to expand or contract, I say contract and go back to 8. Because I think that's when we were really having, the best of the best teams. I even think 12 kind of watered it down a little bit. Did I love seeing GAMU repping VA? Yeah, I think we all did because we're from Virginia. But I didn't necessarily need that game in my life. I didn't need Tulane getting blown out by Ole Miss. You know what I mean? So shout out T-Roy. Hey, we appreciate you all, brother, tuning in. Says keep up the great work. Happy New Year,
That's
brother.
The homie. What up, Troy?
New Year, no S.
Haven't seen you in a minute, but I hope you're doing well. Also says big day for Clubber D and the 49ers. We will be talking about that in just a few minutes, my brother. Let's see. Champ Ross says, good point. They got 68 teams in basketball, and still 1 or 2 teams will always complain at the end. Perfect example. March Madness and the complaints you get there. Hey, our brother, Clutch B, tuning in. They will do all 25. Okay, so a 25 expansion is what he says. All teams in the top 25, number 1 team gets a bye. Okay, I could see that happening.
A lot of bowls. You can get rid of all the bowls. Those like Duke's Mayo bowls and Johnny Come Lately.
Now, why are you copying Clubber D?
Mine was there first. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Omar. Thank you.
I'm going to say I hope that doesn't happen because then that just waters down the regular season. And just like that guy brought up with all the teams in the college basketball tournament, the regular season stinks. Who watches the regular season legit in college basketball? Nobody really cares until the playoff because of that reason.
Well, the big games, you'll watch a Duke, North Carolina, Michigan State. You'll watch those games, but the other ones.
Yeah, and I try to catch at least UCLA and Maryland game.
I'm not saying nobody's going to watch them. I'm saying it just waters it down.
No,
I agree. Yeah, I do agree, Peach, because what would happen if, like, okay, I'm the number 11 seed, and I could say, well, I don't need to start this guy this week because we're gonna, even if we lose, we're still in the top 25, we're in the playoffs. So I don't want this guy to get injured. It does make it makes those teams have to fight harder to try to get in there. Keep it low, don't expand that shit harder, the higher, you know what I'm saying, to let more teams in there. I'm good with the 12. Just figure out how we can have the right teams in there, not the wrong teams in there.
Right.
Yeah, and then T-Roy says 16 is enough. Yeah, I don't think I would ever want to go more than 16. Even if you did get the super conference and did 32, 40, whatever teams, you would still. Now, I don't know. I just think, like, I love my brother Brandon. I just think 25, I agree, Peach. I think that waters it down. I think that's too much in terms of the playoffs. Champ Ross, I think with the portal, there will always be 1 to 2 schools to come out of nowhere every year, like North Texas or James Madison. You're right. As we've mentioned on this program plenty of times, and Dirty Mojo just alluded to, with NIL. Now, the parity is extensive, right? Teams can buy their way in. We're going to talk about Texas Tech getting blown the fuck out in a second. But Texas Tech spent some of the most money in the country on NIL and ended up with 0 points in the playoffs. So just because you have the money and you spend it, which most of those Texas teams do, doesn't necessarily mean you can buy wins in the playoff. You still got to actually win.
You can buy a team, but you can't buy continuity.
Yeah, exactly. Canteen says 16 is good, but adjust the Army-Navy game instead and play the playoffs after the season ends. I don't mind that. The Army-Navy game is cool because it does have its own kind of weekend to itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that should stay like that just to honor our military and veteran.
Agreed.
But I don't disagree with what everything else we said. Portal is a difference maker. Yeah, of course. I don't think any of us would disagree with that. I think it's the biggest change we've ever seen.
They got to change that shit.
With the NIL and transfer portal. Yep. Any final thoughts on the NIL and transfer portal, y'all?
I think they should. They need to change it. Move the dating. Like Lamar mentioned before. The coaches. That stuff's not announced till after the season. Also, as a Tech fan, Virginia Tech, they got a donor of $20 million out of nowhere. I'm like, where the hell were you last year? We had nobody. Like, where's this money coming from? How they're doing this? And these kids are saying, if I'm at Virginia Tech and I'm entering the transfer portal and I'm going to visit a Maryland, a UCLA, a Georgia, and Virginia Tech, I just want more money. All it is just redoing your contract. You go back to the school because you're getting more money. They need to kind of, I don't know. They got to change that. They got to do something.
And to your point, Dion, I mean, what about this Ole Miss situation now? That proves that the date needs to be changed 1,000,000%. Yeah. They're in the Final Four, and they had to get rid of their coach because he's moving on. It's unbelievable. Yeah, the dates need to change.
All the dates
100%.
100%.
As far as the NIL and the transfer portal is concerned, to me, I'm okay with the transfer portal because if a coach can just leave at the end of the year, I think a player should be able to go to, especially if he's not getting a lot of burn. And they're bringing players in so much. If you guys remember, now in college football they have, I think it's 108 scholarships. They can only have 108 players on the team. Where in the past you could be a bigger program with 130, 140 kids, but you were only given, I think it was 75 or 85 scholarships, and the rest of the kids were like walk-ons or they were paying their own way to school. They could earn their stuff. So now everybody on a team has a scholarship, right? The thing that the NIL is going to do for people is it's going to get players on certain teams, which sucks because you're going to figure out these kids that are really just in it for the money, and they're really not, like in it to like get better. And Kirby Smart says that. I'm not saying it just because of, they're my team or whatever, but I think I said this last week where you have the number one receiver in the country from Florida chose Syracuse. No disrespect to Syracuse, but like seriously, bro, why would you go to Syracuse over a Miami, over a Florida State, or Florida, Ohio State? You're the number one
too, right?
Yeah, you're the number one receiver in the fucking country, and Ohio State continuously, even LSU, puts the best receivers in the NFL, and you choose Syracuse. It just that I don't like that. Now, what it will do is for high school kids, though. High school kids are going to be able to start attending because you're going to, with the NIL and the transfer portal, there's not a lot of high school kids that are really good that are going, well, not really good, but they're, 3-4 star guys that aren't getting picked to these big schools. They're going to start going to those mid-major schools, the North Texas, the JMUs and stuff like that. And they're going to get the ability to start. They're going to get playing time. And then, yes, in 2 years, you want to transfer to Virginia Tech or Oregon or something like that. I'm all for that because I think that's the way you make a player. Right, exactly. I think that's how you develop players, man. Mm-hmm. This NIL is going to take away from developing players. Look at your boy Bryce Underwood. He's not developing to me.
Yeah, they're getting paid as if they were in the Major League Baseballs going out and doing international free agent signings where they're paying these Dominican kid 16-year-old $5 million signing bonus, hoping that he becomes the next, Alex Rodriguez or whatever. And you're completely right. Champ Ross says it here too, right? Texas Tech bought their defense but forgot the quarterback. they got David Bailey and Jacob Rodriguez, or I might got that backwards. David Rodriguez, I don't know.
Ramo Rodriguez.
Ramo Rodriguez back there paying him in the.
Great pull right there. That's a great pull.
Insider. 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
Insider jokes are killing. But you're right? That they did. They have a great defense, but they paid for But unfortunately, again, you can't pay to win games. And Brandon, you're right too. I read that in the article yesterday. Lane Kiffin gets paid every time he gets a bonus.
$500K.
I'm like, wait a second. Now, the thing is that I read in this article, when they made the coaching hire LSU had to agree to pay that money. So now that money comes out of LSU's coffers instead of Ole Miss at least. Brandon says the funny thing about the portal is kids are getting in it, scheduling visits with other schools, and even the school they're at in between visits to the exactly right. Yeah, it's like an inbred of visits. It's like an incestuation.
Let me tell you about the portal though, because a lot of people don't understand it. There's not some magical website that the teams can go in there. There's nothing like that. It's the portal. A lot of people think like, oh, let me go to. Yeah, let me go.
No, I believe they do have an actual database.
They do not. They do not. There's not no like, oh, portal.com and they can see the players in there. What happens is basically they open up the recruiting, and when you announce that you're in the transfer portal, you're basically letting teams know that, hey, you can come talk to me again as if I was a high school player. Okay. Now it's up to recruiters, and it's up to those specific staffs to now put these guys up on the board. Like, okay, this kid. So when you say there's 33,000, I'm telling you, there's a lot of kids that people have no clue that they're in there because there's not some little list that I can pull up. Let me change my search engine to quarterbacks and it pops up all the quarterbacks. It's none of that shit, man. But people don't know that. They think there's the actual like a website.
But they should have that. That would make it a lot easier for the coaches in recruiting. Jeez, wait. But no,
one thing I'm going to say is about the portal. I love the portal, but the only thing they need to change is you shouldn't be able to jump teams every year. Oh, that's just annoying to me.
You should have to stop after like once every year or like in between.
Yeah, just give me where you can do it twice, right? Because then you got to stay 2 years one place, 2 years another.
Has to be
Rambo Rodriguez wrote a great article about it. Check it out on his website. It's just it was an amazing article on that. So definitely do that.
What are your thoughts too on this? Because I know I've heard it with Trinidad Chambliss and even Diego Pavia that they're still Diego announced he's going to the draft, but Trinidad Chambliss is talking about trying to get another year. So they're allowing kids to get 6 years, 7 years. It's crazy. Like
Trinidad needs to make the jump now because he's on fire on them boards, on them draft boards. So if he wants to go, he needs to go now.
Pavia's like 30 years old anyways. He's like Chris Winkie. He's old. Like he's got he was like 26, 20. He's like Bo Nix was old too. Like so.
Trinidad Chambliss is 24, about to be 25.
He's old.
Yes.
And pay attention to the Quinn Ewers and what happened to him at the drop off he had if he would have entered the draft. So definitely something you got to take into consideration.
I didn't know he was that old.
Trinidad Chambliss is
You can't get enough. Take your ass to pros.
Remember who was the starter for them last year? Jackson Dart.
Yeah, duh, yeah. Huh? Yeah, go pro, bro. You old enough.
Yeah.
Like Chris Winkie went in with a hairline from George from Seinfeld.
He's reaching pedophile age, guys. He might not be able to date freshmen anymore.
I'm sorry, he's 23. He'll be 24 in in August.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I think there should be a 2-school limit, and once you commit, you have to stay a minimum 2 years before being eligible to transfer. What are your thoughts on that?
Unless there's some weird circumstances, like some
the coach
type of hating or something like that. So
if the coach gets fired, I'll
coach fired also.
Like that.
If there's a family problem, like Clubber D said, if there's something like that, that's understandable. You got to go back for your mother,
something
your father,
against you versus school, something like that. I'm with you on that.
But if you're just switching schools every year just to switch schools because you want to, now I do have one thing that I just thought about while I was about to say that. What if you're going from JUCO to D1, or let's say you went JUCO, D2, and then D1? Would that be allowed since you're moving up levels?
I think it's think of it like Scottie Pippen's wife, how she changes men and the quality of the men. Okay,
what is happening today?
She went from like Michael Jordan's son, and now she's talking to Dennis Rodman's son or somebody like that. She's just flip flopping, So it's all about levels of dustiness. You could be a Division III, go to a 2, or Cam Newton went to a black college and then went to a Division I again. So he shouldn't have to wait out a year. You know what I'm saying? He should just do that.
I didn't know we were getting a Pippen's wife reference on the show today. But
she had called me the other day because where else is she going to go? Just like Britney Spears, all them dusty girls women that are famous and dusty and dating lower. I'm next.
Hey, Miss Pippen,
I'm
come
cream
down,
the dust.
come down to
Tell
number
me.
30 right here.
Yeah.
Division 30 right here. Division
Division
30.
right here, yeah.
30.
Slide in her DMs, Dion. I think you got a chance, bro.
Hey,
Slide in there, bro. Slide in there.
She get up to 3 items on $1 menu and counting a drink. Come on, I got you.
Oh,
Yo,
man.
my man. Yo, my man. Hook up with 2 pieces. You know, the Martin 2 pieces.
Once they hit the wall, they come to me. It's over with.
That's
43U right here.
43U. Oh my God.
And
He'll
the
let you
W.
pep Bronson. I'm telling you, he'll let you pep Bronson. Come on
Yeah.
down.
Come on in. Shoot.
Canteen has a good point. Caden Salter is a good example. He went from Liberty to Tennessee and to Colorado. Now, that's 2 D1 schools there at the end, so I do get what you're saying. I think actually Colorado to Tennessee, but I get it because Dion is
He's
there.
going to UPS next.
So that makes sense. What is his draft potential? Canteen asks. Anybody have any thoughts
Did
on
he get
this?
benched?
I mean, he's not ready. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, he ain't ready. He ain't ready.
I
I know that.
Well, hey, so I looked this up. I mean, you got to look at the player like TJ Finley. 7 times in the transfer portal. 7 times. Georgia State. What were the teams? Yeah, TJ Finley. Auburn, redshirt, Texas State, Western Kentucky, Tulane, Georgia State. And he's in the transfer portal again for the 7th time.
Oh, you know what?
Yep.
Christ.
Dirty Mojo, you obviously are a Georgia fan. I remember I was reading an article the other day about a kid from Georgia who apparently had signed. They said he signed a contract, but then he wanted to go somewhere else. And now you have a lawsuit going on with this kid?
I'm not too familiar with what's going on there. They're keeping that a little bit in-house with the stuff. But
okay.
yeah, I don't know if it's the way he left or it might be similar to what happened with the kid that went to Texas and Tennessee, and then he took the money and then transferred literally like a week later. Do you guys remember that? This was
That's kind of what it was. Yeah, you tried to transfer
so
right.
I don't know really too much into it, but I will look into it, see a little bit.
I wonder if their girlfriends are asking if they got fear of commitment.
Huh?
I wonder if their girlfriends are like, you have fear of commitment and break up with them. No, that was terrible. But
7-time transfer. That's out of that's 7 times is crazy.
At this point, TJ Finley just retired because you're not going to get drafted because teams are going to look at you and say, "Bro, you transferred 7 times. How do I know you're going to be no?"
What system are you good at?
Yeah, you're not good.
Yeah, Champ says nobody sees those red flags. Yeah, I mean that's what Dirty Mojo was just saying as well.
Yeah, hell yeah, get out of here.
All right, cool. Let's move it on to other games. We talked a lot about that, but that was an excellent conversation about NIL. That was great.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's go ahead and get to your team, Dirty Mojo. Next, you talked a little bit about this earlier, but I'm sure you have a couple more thoughts. Ole Miss coming in with the new coach and beating your Georgia Bulldogs in a amazing game. 30 points between both teams in the fourth quarter. Ole Miss was down, 24-12, and ended up coming back to win this game. What are your thoughts, sir?
Well, I mean, for me, like I said a little earlier, it goes back to the Georgia game when they played them in Georgia. It was just that fourth quarter was just a fun, amazing fourth quarter to watch. I don't want to take anything away from Ole Miss. Ole Miss is they are a good program, and the coach that they have is their defensive coordinator. He was able to do some things to kind of stifle Georgia here late in the fourth quarter. The one thing I want to go back on is the 4th down play where the injured player for Ole Miss kind of, we had rushed the punter on the field, but then with the injury, they kind of put the offense back on the field. They weren't supposed to snap the ball. It was supposed to try to get them to jump off ball. So it was some miscommunication. The coaches got to do a little bit better. Kirby Smart said that they got to do a little bit better of the communication because at that point, that's when Ole Miss went up 34-24, something like that. It was quick, like a real quick one like that. I said it in the original thing that Ole Miss is a really good team. Their only loss was to Georgia, and Georgia had to score 17 points in the fourth quarter to beat them. They're a good team. I wouldn't be surprised for them to go all the way and actually win it. I just thought that without them having Lane Kiffin, that there was going to be a lot of outside noise. There was going to be a lot of distraction. There was going to be a lot of questions in the locker room when they're having their meetings with the media. That kind of distracts the players, but. Hats off to them. They went out there. They played a fantastic football game. Georgia played a fantastic football game too. It's one of the games where, hey, the players lost. The thing that I will say, though, is Ole Miss better win it this year because next year looks bleak for them because a lot of kids are jumping ship for them. I don't think that they will be as good next year as they are this year. So with Trinidad Chambliss, go out there and win. I do believe Miami's going to win it, though. I'm sorry. I want Miami to win because, like I said, I have a player that I coach that plays for them. But I'm not mad at the Bulldogs, man. They went out and they fought. I do want to see those quarterfinal games be home games at their stadiums, and also not taking so long. It's been a month since Georgia played. We'll come back next year. We'll reload. We're going to get transports. And I can say this. I do believe that Gunnar Stockton's going to come back. I do believe that Zachariah Branch is going to come back. So, I mean, we're going to have a good team. And that defense is young. We have a really young defense, which we're losing Dalen Everett and I didn't need to say his name. Number 3, our linebacker. I think we're losing him to the NFL draft. But I think we're going to still be a good team right here.
I mean, Georgia and any blue blood like that at this point with NIL is going to be in the race every year. So I don't expect Georgia to ever have less than 10 wins going forward, honestly. But let's talk about Ole Miss, because you mentioned Trinidad Chambliss earlier, 362 yards passing. Ole Miss drops 473 yards over Georgia's defense. And maybe that's something that does need to be fixed in the transfer portal, as Lamar mentioned. What are your thoughts on this game?
Let's talk about the fourth quarter, because that's where this game really got ramped
crazy.
Up.
Yeah,
man. And we talked about earlier, Chambliss is just jumping up draft boards. He needs to leave.
Leave. Yeah.
If not now, you're not going to leave. You're not going to have definitely. I will say this about your Bulldogs, Lamar. You got to score inside the 5. That's where you lost this game. You got to score when you get there. They had a chance to win at the end. They had to settle for a field goal, which gave Ole Miss the ball back. And then the defense gives up the big play. It's over after that. But yeah, hell of a game, hell of a fourth quarter. I have nothing else to say about this game. It was great. It was fun to watch. But yeah, definitely Ole Miss, I agree with you, needs to win this year, because they ain't doing nothing next year. Everybody's leaving. And that's the one thing about losing Lane Kiffin. He's a dickhead and all that stuff, but he can recruit. He definitely can recruit. So,
Trinidad Chambliss' best bet is to win this championship and get the fuck out. Glover D, what are your thoughts on this game?
Hey, the cliche, don't believe me, just watch. Trinidad killed it in the 30, was it a minute and a half span? Those 3 big plays he did back to back to back was phenomenal. I actually hit my brother up on IG. He was like, hey, that might be y'all's quarterback, because, he don't watch college. But, his stock is very high, like Peach mentioned. And also, I was going to mention the same thing. You got to score. You cannot kick a field goal right there.
Right.
When you're Georgia, you can't do that, man. It's on the, and that whole punt, whatever, that little miscue, like that shouldn't happen with Georgia. That should not happen with that high caliber of school like that. You guys are top tier of just about everything. You know what I'm saying? A boo boo like that happens in like high school. So I was shocked that was a thing. But Ole Miss, I think I predicted it jokingly in our group chat, and also I think Brandon said like Alabama win by 17 because he's an idiot. But I wouldn't mind seeing Ole Miss win it all. You know what I'm saying? Because they were always like that team that was always there, but not all the way up there as far as the SEC. And to see them actually getting over the hump and making some noise in the playoffs, I wouldn't mind seeing them actually go all the way. Them or Indiana.
And one other thing about this game, officials, y'all need to get it the fuck together. I know sometimes we have to go by the rule book and we got to do everything legit. But when there's a kickoff with 5 seconds left in the game, and the game is decidedly over, and they make a backwards pass, which happens to hit the pylon, do you really need to call a safety and give them 1 second to try to do a bunch of No, just call the game over. There's really
not just that. In the gambling world, them points could have been huge, right? Like we got, like you said, you got to stop that kind of stuff, man. There's too much money on the line, and then people will call, shenanigans, and
we have to start using all that common sense, right? It doesn't always have to be by the fucking rules. Sometimes use a little common sense and say, okay, this is good. Like in the NBA, stop fouling in the last minute when you're down 10, like 15. We know you're not going to come back to stop. It's all
I hate that. Look, hey, great point, Omar. And you know what they have to do in college football? They have to make it where there's a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2 when it comes to targeting. When you're actually going up and targeting guy, kick the guy out of there. But when you're making a football play and you're going low for a tackle, and so is the running back or whoever, and you just so happen to hit, that shouldn't be kicked them out of the game,
you get
man.
Kicked
That's
out.
Not, you know what I'm saying? There's only so much that you can do. If anything, I would drop the level of targeting. If I'm going for your legs and you're going down 2 and we helmet to helmet, how am I supposed to move my head out of the way to stop this? I don't think that's right. I think they should look at it and say, hey, listen, this is a flagrant 1 or this is a flagrant 2. He's still allowed to play. And if you have another one the next week, kind of like a red card in soccer, you get 2 yellow cards or whatever like that, you're kicked out. So if that happens again the following week, okay, now you got to get kicked out because it's 2 weeks in a row that you've had this targeting call on you. You're out of here for the rest of the game and blah, blah, blah. But that was a bogus call. And, I mean, that's the defensive player for Georgia that you take out of the game, that you got to put somebody else in there for position that could have helped them with those 3 big plays in the last minute to go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but
I think Frazier getting hurt Georgia because he was running hard.
Yes. Covered.
He was running real hard. Oh, Brandon.
What man? Take that guy, man. God,
I absolutely love this back and forth between you and Brandon. it's so stupid, but it's so funny because it's just like it makes me crack up every time. All right, let's move it into the last 2 games. We're going to group these together because they were not great games as they were blowouts. But we did have Indiana. He's the number 1 team in the country, and we're going to talk about the games going forward, so we don't need to talk too much about these. But Indiana did beat Alabama 38-3. Dirty Mojo did mention earlier maybe Alabama did not belong in. Oregon 23-0 over Texas Tech. We talked about how great Oregon was offensively and defensively, both in the top 10 in terms of yardage. Their defense played amazing, held the shutout here. Dirty Peach, we'll start with you on this one.
No, nothing really to say here. I mean, the teams that I thought were going to win won in blowout fashion, and they weren't really great games. I still, it's hard for me to believe in Indiana, even though it's the dumbest thing ever because they're the best team. It's
still like, oh, dude,
it's like I just think of basketball. I just think of basketball when I think of Indiana. So it's like it's tough to believe. But when you watch them play, gentlemen, they're the best team in the country, I think.
All right, cool. And then we're going to go Clubber D, Dirty Mojo. I got to go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
What I'll say with the Oregon game, that was watching me on the couch because I was my CPAP machine was getting jealous during that game. But I'll say for the Indiana game, I don't know about you guys. When Mendoza plays and he starts running around, it reminds me of I don't like making this comparison, but like. Remember when Tom Brady would run, and you're like, he's about to get popped. And somehow he would get the first down out of nowhere because he's just not super overly athletic. That's what I see when Mendoza kind of scrambles around. But I'm a fan of Mendoza. That kid is good, man. And I love their coach's story and how he came from JMU, and they're still a good school. And then now what he's done so far in Indiana is just out of this world. I want the underdogs to win now. You know what I'm saying? I had them going to the finals and losing to Georgia, but I'm going to use my my sports almanac and go back and kind of change history. And I'm going to have to do a coin toss between them and Ole Miss. But yeah, I'm a big fan of what Indiana did because they proved that they belong there. In Alabama, you had no reason being in the playoffs. Okay, you don't beat them, you put belt to ass, as Lamar would say.
Yeah,
Lamar, what you got?
Yeah, Alabama shouldn't have been in the playoffs. I mean, it's evident that they were not a good team. They didn't play very good football at all. Yeah, they beat Oklahoma the week before. I mean, come on, man. Alabama embarrassed the SEC in this game against Indiana, and Indiana is a good football team. I mean, they surprised me. I knew that Indiana would win, but I didn't think they would win like that. I mean, it was not fun to watch that game. I thought Alabama's coach DeBoer was going to try to take the Michigan job. There was a lot of talk about that shit. So then when Michigan hired the one guy, I was like, oh, he's still going to stay there. I think Alabama loses a lot of recruits because this is another four loss, right? They had 4 losses this year. Last year it was 5 losses. They got 9 losses in 2 years as him the coach. I think a lot of kids are going to jump ship. They're going to not want to go to Alabama. They're going to pick other schools like LSU. They're going to pick other schools like Georgia. They're going to pick other schools that they can go to. As far as the first 2 games, I was very disappointed in Texas Tech. I had said that when I had watched them in their championship game, they were all over the place. They were a gritty team. I thought they were going to play a lot better, but you guys said it. They put all their money into their damn defense. They didn't put anything into their offense. Their offense was just so stale and stagnant. Going forward, though, Indiana beat Oregon in the beginning of the year, and they beat them by 10, right? 30-20, right? game was a good game. I think they outscored them in the fourth quarter to kind of get that win. It's going to be a really good game now on a neutral site. It's hard to call it, man. It's hard to call it. I think Oregon can beat them. I think they can. Indiana, obviously, the way they played against Alabama is going to be the favorite in this. I would go. God, if we go to picking the scores, come back to me, man, because it's. Can I pick a tie? Can they finish in a tie? Because that's going to be a fucking good game. Yeah, man. Alabama.
I'd say if we do pick, and we do this on paper, we email them to Omar ahead of time, and we'll do a wager on it too prior.
Yeah, we can. We just got to make sure everybody gets it in because we're going to do that last time, and two people here with no names named.
Right there.
The bottoms.
But anyways, yeah.
Whoa, wait a second.
Hey, my bad. I know I kept it quiet.
Whoa.
I thought nobody noticed.
Whoa.
I thought you were referring to yourself.
Do that again, wow.
I'm talking about the cameras, man.
I was talking about your bald Jewish spot up on the top. Right?
Oh, well, that's.
Woo.
I'm in my 40s. It's okay.
Got a Hidden Valley, huh?
Hidden Valley,
like Florida down here, like Florida, right there.
little peninsula.
That's great.
I take my hat off.
All right, I agree with you, Lamar. Texas Tech, what a disappointment. I did pick that Oregon victory, so I thought that was going to happen anyways, just because how good Oregon is. But still, just Texas Tech did not show up at all. And the other one, so I picked the Oregon over Texas Tech, which I was the only one. And then Lamar, you were the only one that picked Miami over Ohio State. So two great picks there. Nice. Too bad you didn't bet Lamar because you'd probably be in the lead right now. Anyways, moving on. We'll talk about that next week. We're gonna have Canteen all y'all next. What was it? Wednesday? That's the 9th they play, right? I believe so. That's
they played a Friday and Thursday, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna come on
Wednesday.
Thursday. You want to do Wednesday or Thursday?
Oh, it don't matter to me.
Yeah, we'll figure it out either Wednesday the 7th, Thursday the 8th. We might go before the NFL game. There are no more Thursday night games. Fitty on that. Wow, it's a neck.
We'll just do a pregame for the game, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out either Wednesday or Thursday. We'll go over the rest of the college football, make our predictions then. But let's take one last look at this bracket here. So going into the semifinals, and again, we'll predict these games next week. So just make sure you subscribe to Ball and Buds, and you'll get the notification.
Please.
Oregon versus Indiana should be an amazing game. Oregon should have at least the defense to slow down Fernando Mendoza a little bit, but we said that about Texas Tech, and look what happened there. So maybe not. And then
Ole Miss to keep up with them too.
Yeah, and that's true. Dante Moore. I mean, look, he only had 200 yards and a touchdown, but he managed the game well, and that's what you need. Ole Miss versus Miami in the bottom half of the semifinals. We talked about the experience of it, Miami, but we talked about the urgency. The time is now for Ole Miss in this sort of situation. So again, no predictions, no deep analysis, but let's go through and what are our thoughts on these semifinal games, anyone?
I think they're two great games. I'm excited for them both. Like you said, no predictions, but I think Indiana is the Bret Hart of this tournament. They are the excellence of execution. They're not flashy, but they will get you to the main event.
There you go.
Yeah, I think these two games will be nothing like the game before. Hopefully I don't think there's flaws. I think they will be good games. I mean, Indiana, Oregon is going to be. I think it'll be with whatever the spread is within the spread, and same thing with the Ole Miss Miami game. They're going to be within their spread.
Close games.
They're going to be close games. So if it's 3.5 either way, they're going to be close to those scores. It's going to be a good semifinals, man.
I think this is a lot of parity of these last four teams. You got the number one team in the nation that everyone's doubted because they've never really been a powerhouse in football. You have a flashy team that everybody liked the uniforms. You know, they've had Heisman Trophy winner quarterbacks there as far as Oregon, but they've never gotten over the hump, and this is a big game for them as well. And then you look at Ole Miss, all the turmoil with them losing their coach, never really being a super favorite seed in the SEC with Alabama, LSU's all around, but now they're the ones representing the SEC. Then you got Miami, who didn't even make it to the ACC championship game, who everybody makes fun of them because they live in all the past Miami U. But now this is the brand new U, and let's see if that can carry on to the national the title game. So it's a lot of parity in this, and I love it. I'm ready for it, and I might not wear shoes and socks and pants.
Yeah, any four of these teams can win it. That's what makes it great, right?
Yep.
I know all of us. We don't want the Needler coming at us, so.
I've already heard him. Yeah,
I'm sure you have.
Over.
I am sure you have.
I said, no, I don't care.
But the funny part is, and you just mentioned this, Clubber Dean, there's a great point you bring up because I read this in an article the other day that Miami, ACC obviously has had no representation with Duke and UVA as their two, conference championship, representees. That Miami came out of nowhere, and Miami's winning all this money now for the ACC. Every time they move to another round, more money is paid to that team's conference. Yep. So all these teams, for instance, Oregon and Indiana have earned, double for the Big Ten essentially, while Ole Miss and Miami have earned singular payouts so far for their conferences.
And
but either way,
respect the ACC as a Virginia Tech fan. Respect us.
There you go. All right, cool. So again, next Wednesday or Thursday, subscribe to Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS on YouTube. There'll be a notification, handy QR code up there. You can find our socials, Instagram as well. We'll post about it. We will predict these games, go into a deep analysis, and as well, we'll talk a little NFL then too. But we still have NFL to talk about today. Let's get to some comments that we missed here. Fanbo Podcast 3638. We appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks, brother.
Says Fernando Mendoza or Trinidad Chambliss. I want my Raiders, fellow Raiders fan, to draft Trinidad Chambliss. This is what I'll say. I like the skills of Chambliss. I think he has a good skill set that could be molded in the future, sort of like a Cam Ward type, something like that you may be able to, develop in the long run. The Raiders are going to draft Fernando Mendoza. There's no way they do not draft Fernando Mendoza. They're already saying around the organization that he resembles Tom Brady. And since Tom Brady is now a part owner, they want to pick someone they think will, be a pocket passer and can develop like Tom Brady. So that's already the rumor going around the Raiders organization. They could always change, but I can't see it being Chambliss. If it was going to change, I could see it being Dante Moore. Or if you do what I want, trade down. You have the number one pick. Trade down, get 2 firsts and 2 seconds, build up the offensive line, and then worry about do the 1 year prove-it deal for Kyler Murray, like I said. Let Pete Carroll coach 1 more year. If it falls off the rail, who cares? And draft again next year when you'll have 2 firsts and 2 seconds next year. That's what
definitely. Look, I said it about Mendoza. I don't want to hate on the kid. I think he was the 25th passing yards in the country. Heisman Trophy, I don't think he should have won the Heisman Trophy. I think the kid from Ohio State or even that running back should have won. It should have been Mendoza. But you also got to look at it like this. I don't know how well they sell tickets, but who's going to put tickets in the stadium? Who's going to sell those tickets? I don't think Mendoza is the guy that's going to sell the tickets. You trade back. You get yourself some guys that can that you can draft for the future, but. You said
maybe even the Rodriguez kid from Texas Tech. We need a linebacker.
Yo, bro, you said develop in the Raiders in the same sentence.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I apologize.
Don't do it.
Mendoza, his last name.
My team don't
people can rally behind him. A lot of Raiders fans are from Hispanic, from Oakland and LA. Mendoza, they'll back. You know what I'm saying? They'll represent, and I think that might not be bad.
I've been talking about this for weeks, right? I just don't like this quarterback class in regards to NFL football, right? Like, it just reminds me of like the Kenny Pickett deal, the Kenny Pickett year.
Oof.
And I think it's a little bit better than that. Don't get me wrong, but
it's a tad better.
Taking them at number 1, I agree with you, Omar. Trade down, get a ton of picks, go into next year. You have multiple firsts. You can get your quarterback then. You can fix your line. Because what does it matter if Dion talked about Mendoza running?
You're gonna have a quarterback running for his life, yeah.
With your offensive line.
Yeah, that's true.
And he can't run.
He can't move.
So yeah, that's the best bet. And when you have that number 1 pick, somebody's going to trade up for a quarterback that needs it, right? Like you're almost guaranteed to trade down.
Arizona.
Look at the last 5 years, right? The number 1 quarterback taken. if you put all the 5 quarterbacks that were taken in the last 5 years, Mendoza doesn't stack up to any one of those guys. So he's not a number 1 fucking pick. He's not the number 1 pick in the draft. If you want to take him in the first round, I don't mind it, but I wouldn't take him first overall pick.
Right,
Trade back, develop some stuff, get him at 11 or some shit like that. He's not the number 1 pick in the draft. He's not the best player in college football.
It's default because people love the quarterback. That's what it is.
And because he won the Heisman. Like, it's not. No.
Drafts are a crapshoot. I mean, we wouldn't have time if everyone listened to where somebody should be drafted. We wouldn't have Tom Brady's or people like that. And Fred, I'm being a homer. Fred Warner, he was a 3rd rounder. Kittle, what I'm saying, like, Brock Purdy, last pick of the draft. So it's like whoever you draft, if the situation's good, they will succeed. If they or they won't. Look at Mac Jones. He did well with us this year, and he bounced and bounced and bounced. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the situation that's best for that player.
Yeah, NFL, who you haven't played. Go ahead, Omar.
The NFL is system. College ball is not system. You can be any quarterback and play in a college ball football team and make it and have them win. When you get to the NFL, it's the system that you play for.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be anybody and I don't think that system is the system for. I'll do it.
That was hilarious. I don't know what that noise was. But yeah, Jake Clovers, you don't know that. How about Clubber D's predictions? I'm sorry, another inside joke. Oh, we got him going today.
I just got it.
Oh my god!
That was one of my notes.
Fambo says I got Ole Miss to beat Indiana in the national championship game. Hey, as Pete said, it can be anybody here. Says I got Indiana to beat Oregon, Ole Miss to beat Miami. Yep. Hey, thank you for the subscription. We appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to Clubber D's YouTube too, at Clubber D.
Yeah, come on over.
Let's see. Hey, Pops, shout out. Love you. This one was for you, and I'll see you soon, brother. I love you. Amanda Serrano tonight. We're going to do it. All right. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here.
Holly Holm on the undercard too. Woo, that's a great card.
Yes, sir. Fambo says the Jet wants Fernando Mendoza. We can trade with them. The Jets. Interesting. Okay. That's true. I mean, the Jets are quarterback needy, so that's one team you would trade to probably.
And by the way, you wouldn't have to drop down that far. So that's a bonus.
That's what are they? They're going to be 3 or 4, right?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon says drop down in the draft, use money on O-line, get draft picks, take the linebacker. I don't know about Mac Jones. I don't know. I
already said that. Get this guy out the chat, man. Why is
now Malik Willis, very, very low key as the
low key, yeah.
He has been playing amazing under Matt LaFleur. He played in 3 games this year, has like a 70% completion percentage, has ran for like 300 yards. So Malik Willis is part of what you just said, Lamar. He was developed in a good system, right? At first we had him where he kind of flailed out when he got his first chance, and then he went to Green Bay, and now he's under a Matt LaFleur system that has allowed him to thrive.
Shout out to Liberty. That's where he came from, Virginia. Hello.
Well, cool. We got to finish up because my dad does have to come grab me so we can go to San Juan. NFL football today. Yes, baby, football. We got 2 huge games that we have to talk about. Dirty Mojo, we're going to come to you since this is your account, the NFC South. By the way, if someone can help me out, because apparently I just realized why I can't see spreads, because there's no betting in Puerto Rico. So they don't show the lines on ESPN. So if someone can get me the line and the over-under for this game. Panthers. Yeah, we could. Panthers will go up against Tampa Bay, go into Tampa Bay rather, for the division. Now, as Dirty Mojo will go on to tell you, Tampa Bay actually has a way, the Atlanta Falcons have a way to affect this. So, for instance, if Tampa Bay were to beat Carolina, that doesn't necessarily mean Tampa Bay would win, or vice versa. If Carolina were to lose, that doesn't necessarily mean Tampa Bay would get in. Atlanta still has a lot to say with this. Huh?
Yeah, that was the same comment. You said if Tampa Bay wins, then Carolina doesn't necessarily get in there.
Oh, my bad. You know what I meant. You know what I meant. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks like they flexed this. They didn't want to have the Falcons and the Saints playing the same time, or they didn't want the Falcons and Saints to play first because, just like you said, if the Carolina Panthers win, they're in. Period. They don't need anything. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat Carolina. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat Carolina today, if Atlanta beats the Saints tomorrow, Carolina's in. So Carolina,
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So Carolina right now, they go in and they win this game. We're not even worried about the Falcons Saints game tomorrow. But if they lose this game, all those Panther fans' eyes are going to be on Atlanta to go ahead and beat the Saints. So I mean, this was that division too, guys, where for us, the Falcons, man, we win one of those games that we lost, the Jets, the Dolphins, the overtime loss to the Colts, the overtime loss to the Patriots. We win next week. We win tomorrow against the Saints. We're in the playoffs. But it's neither here nor there. But also look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay started off super hot. I think at one point they were 6-2. Now look at them. They're fighting for their chance to make it to the playoffs. And they actually need help. They need the Saints to win. So it's a sucky situation for them. It's a fantastic situation for Carolina. I don't know what the odds are, but I'm pretty sure the odds are higher for the Carolina Panthers to be
-3.
That's the spread is -3 for Carolina.
Sorry, +3. I'm looking on CBS. It says +3 Carolina, -3 Tampa Bay. Total 43.5 over for Carolina, and money line is +124.
Yep.
Okay,
but
cool.
Then,
so
but
3.5.
Yeah.
I know none of that. Nothing what that means. I don't know. I don't bet.
No. I just repeated what you said, but they're playing at home.
I read it right. I don't know.
Tampa's 3-point favorites. That's what that means.
Yeah. And also check this out too, man. If you guys look at it, it's going to actually be a good game for, what I'm saying? You want Carolina to win and just solidify it, but if Tampa Bay wins, that Atlanta Falcons Saints game is going to be good because both those teams are on 3 or 4 game winning streaks. So it's going to be a good game. It's not like, they're going against the Saints and
my championship.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And those two teams hate each other too, by the way.
Well, Fanbo has Panthers beating Tampa Bay. Who do you have, Lamar, and what is your score?
I got Tampa Bay winning. If this was in Carolina, I'd have Carolina winning. I got Tampa Bay winning this game 27-17.
Fitty, that's wrong.
But I got Atlanta bailing them out tomorrow and Atlanta winning against the Saints.
Okay. Yeah, and that was what I was talking about. Sorry to confuse anybody. Lamar cleaned me up there. But that's what that was. There's still a chance, for Atlanta to play a part in this, who actually gets in, whether it's Carolina or Tampa Bay. So, all right, cool. It doesn't matter who's next. Let's go to Clubber D.
Sure. Yeah, I like it. Okay, first I'll talk about Atlanta versus the Saints. I'm gonna go with the Saints because I like what Atlanta did last game, but Kirk Cousins didn't do much. It was all Bijan and the terrible defense that the Rams were playing towards the end of the game. Tyler Shock has changed my mind about him. He is a legit quarterback, and Chris Olave is one of the best receivers in the game right now. And with Estimate having that great rushing game, and Chase Young is firing on all cylinders. Saints are looking good right now. That's a promising team for next year. I thought when we all saw Tyler Shock get drafted, like, well, who is this guy? Well, this guy's like 38 years old, and he's
He's been the best rookie quarterback by far.
Oh, by far, 3 over 300-yard passing games in the last 3 games straight. You know what I'm saying? He's legit. He's older, so I guess maybe he's older, learning offense instead of being young and inexperienced. So I got the Saints winning that game, and also with Carolina. Bryce Young has changed my opinion on him as being a legit quarterback in this league. Yes, he's not wowing us with the yards and things like that, but he's making the proper decisions in the red zone. Just minus that last game against Seahawks. But anyways, I'm going to go for the Panthers game. I'm going to go with the Panthers. I'm going to say that's probably low scoring. So I'll say 20-17. Last minute field goal.
2017. Canteen says Panthers by 3. Brandon 31-23. Tampa Bay is he has. Fanbo 28-19. Carolina win. Wow, 9-point victory there. Okay. Peach, who do you got?
I'm gonna take Tampa on this, and that's because that's what I want to happen. Both teams are very inconsistent, but at least Tampa's fun to watch. And you always have that maybe Baker Mayfield will have one of those games in the playoffs kind of thing. You know what I mean? They do need, the Saints to help them also, which is very tough because Atlanta's been playing pretty good the last few weeks. So it's not a lock at all. And Radio wants to save his job, unfortunately, for Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar, I think he saved his job, baby.
Oh, it's saved.
Oh,
it's saved.
Oh, if he wins this game and knocks out the Tampa,
him and McDaniel,
your owner is going to just go to his bedroom and do his thing to himself. But I think if Atlanta wins, I think that definitely stamps the job being saved, unfortunately, for Lamar.
I can say this though about the Falcons, man. We do propel. I said this. We do prepare well against good teams. We just get outcoached. We lost to some teams that we should have beat that were good teams. We play terrible against bad teams, which you can say that the Saints are a bad team. You can say that they're a mid team, which that would make me think that they're going to come out flat against these guys, man. But I'm a Falcon fan, so I hate the Saints. The Aints want Atlanta to win. And I would rather the Carolina Panthers make it to the playoffs than the Tampa Bay.
Over under Bijan gets the ball more than 3 rushes in the fourth quarter.
I mean, you see us trying. You see what the fuck they do, bro.
What is that? I was like, what? Give him the ball. What y'all doing?
Bro, it doesn't make no sense, does it, Dion? I'm telling you, like these guys make no fucking sense at all. It's crazy.
I agree with Dion. The Saints are a team to watch for next year. And how great is it that they get a top pick also? Mm-hmm. I mean, to go with it. And I saw some mock drafts with Jeremiah Love going to them. So they might get their Bijan next year also. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. We'll be back.
Hey, shout out to Christoph Haynes. Haven't heard from this guy in a while. Good to hear from you, my brother. He asked for the and this is a good question because one quarterback, Baker, was on an MVP trajectory, and then Tampa Bay had the downside. And you have Bryce Young, who started off the season kind of and then had that mid-season upward trajectory that he had, and now he's kind of kept that going. Who would you take right now, not going forward, not next year, not in the past, right now? Who would you take, Baker or Bryce? Anybody?
I take Bryce, and the reason why is because the first half of the season, a lot of those wins that that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did get was Baker bringing them down by whatever in the fourth quarter with less than 2 minutes to go to win the games. Yeah, but then the last half of the season, they're in the same predicament, and guess what? He shit the bed. He hasn't done anything.
Going interceptions, all types of stuff.
Nothing good. Getting sacked, doing stupid stuff. So right now I take Bryce. I trust him more right now. If the game is on the line, if it's a tied game, I take Bryce to pull it off.
I agree with you that he's younger. Hold on, Peter, real quick. I agree with you because he's maybe younger, so you want to take like the upward trajectory. But at the same time, we got to remember, yes, Baker Mayfield did the little Cleveland Brown kind of turning back into same as a Sam Darnold pumpkin mode kind of thing. But I think you also have to look at the fact that Baker does have a lot more experience as well. Peach, what were you going to say?
I'd say just because of the age, I agree. Bryce is the guy to probably take. Baker's kind of just so inconsistent year after year. You don't know what you're going to get. But Baker's more fun to watch. And that's why I want him to get in. Because I think both of them are one and done regardless, right? But I don't want to see a Panthers team score 3 points in the first round. I want to, if Baker's going to score 20 points, but it might be for the other team as well. But you're going to get that. You're going to get some explosion regardless. So that's why I think I would take Bryce for the long run, but I think Baker's the better quarterback right now.
Yeah, if it were the future, again, I'll take Bryce. But right now, I'm still taking Baker Mayfield. I think they win this game at home, backs against the wall. I think they need this win 24-17.
I will say this, though. Baker has way better weapons than Bryce. Better. And so it's kind of like that's why it's way more disappointing what Baker has been doing and how inconsistent he is, because they got great receivers. He should be playing more like last year than how he's playing now.
Yeah. Okay, let's get some more comments. Christoph says the line guaranteed Sam Darnold starts seeing ghosts again. Look, Sam Darnold is always going to turn back into pumpkin mode in my mind, and we're about to talk about that game right now, so stay tuned. Pop says there is a betting app, but I don't know because every time I try to get on any of the United States betting apps, they don't let me do shit here in Puerto Rico, so maybe it's got to be just the Puerto Rico one. That's operating. I need to check that out though, but all right, I'll check that out. And then we got Chris says Baker with injuries still playing and fighting versus my kid brother through it. I don't even know what that means, Chris.
You don't have a kid, brother. I mean,
some kind of, huh?
He's going to have a brother.
Yeah, some kind of corny joke that Chris is trying to make.
We had you up here, Chris. You ruined it.
Right. We gave you the rub, and you just completely.
I know. Omar even said it was a great question. I mean, you got what you wanted, and you just
threw it all away.
Threw it all away. The pumpkin came out.
Perfect transition to Sam Darnold.
He turned into Sam Darnold.
The corn came out.
Oh Lord.
Week 18, Chris, you were fantastic, but that first round of the playoffs, my friend, done.
He likes Costanza. Leave on a high note, man. Leave on a high note.
Fambo says, I would say Baker Mayfield because you don't know what Bryce Young you're going to get. Yeah, he's a little inconsistent, a little up and down. I would think we would all agree with that.
And what Baker Mayfield do you know you're going to get? But okay.
You're right. But at the same time, again, more experience for Baker Mayfield. He's been in those tight games and won those tight games this year.
That receiving core is fire, though.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Facts. All right, let's move it on. Clubber D, this is your account. Let's talk about your 49ers at home versus Seattle for the number 1 spot in the NFC and a bye, which you were talking about off air. So crucial. What are your thoughts?
You know, the Niners and my fantasy team are very similar. You know, we deal with injuries, and we're still able to be in a certain spot. Okay, I was able to win after losing 4 people before the final game. The Niners, Trent Williams is not going to play, obviously. You know, with a hamstring. It's first time ever pulling a hamstring, which is wild in his football career. We said
he's
20
been there
years,
for like 13 years or whatever.
He said even high school and everything, he's never had a hamstring injury.
Oh,
so I'm like, good Lord. So that happens, but Austin Pleasance comes in and plays fairly well. Kittle, I'm not sure if I haven't checked it yet lately, but I don't think he's going to play today. Hopefully he does, but we want to rest that ankle for him. We beat them the first game of the season where Kittle went out, and Brock Purdy got the turf toe and the hurt shoulder, and Brock Purdy was perfect the last five passes that last drive and that catch by Tunges to win the game, and then you had Bosa putting the tackle in Sam Darnold's lap and causing the fumble sack for us to win, 17-13 win. If you look at Sam Darnold, the last few games, he's only had 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He's not been playing well. They're down to their 3rd string, I think, right tackle, I believe, right tackle or left tackle, 1 to 2. The Niners don't sack much, or we're the worst in the league at sacks, but we at least get pressures and get you off get you out the pocket. I think that's what they're trying to do. They have the best receiver in the game right now. The Niners are going to have to just contain them, okay? We probably can't stop them. We proved that we can score touchdowns with Brock scoring 10 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Since we're at home, I'm going to go with the Niners. It's going to be another high scorer. I'll say 42-31.
Wow. Very high scoring game. Just to let y'all know, I did look it up. According to ESPN's Nick Wagoner, he asked Kittle. Kittle absolutely expects to play tonight. Says he feels fabulous, in a great position to get the number 1 seed. Obviously, we won't have confirmation. So anybody that's still playing in a fantasy league that goes to the 18th week, or for your betting purposes.
What is wrong with your life? Why would you play in a league like that? What?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
the same people that have like 16 teams and
two quarterbacks, and man, eat something, man.
Facts. Clubber D, can you look up the over under and line on this game while we get to Dirty Mojo? Dirty Mojo, your thoughts?
Probably the best game of the week, and obviously because of the outcome, what it can do. To go, I don't know, Dion, if the loser gets what spot do they get in the playoffs?
I'm not sure what the spot they get. Be honest,
they would drop down to 5 because each of the division champions get 1.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, at the same time, I mean, you're either going to go to Carolina or to Tampa Bay, right? On that, so fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to understand, with San Fran, this is our 2nd home game in a row. The Super Bowl is in San Francisco or in Santa Clara, so that's why it's so big for us.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. As far as both of these teams are concerned, they're the 2 hottest teams right now, I guess, in the NFC that are playing. The Rams losing 2 weeks in a row, obviously losing to the Seahawks and then losing to Atlanta, and then the Seahawks coming in and winning the big games that they got. The biggest game for the 49ers with them beating the Bears was a fantastic game to watch. If you didn't watch it, I don't know what you were doing that day. I can say this though. I do like what Dion has said about both the teams, where they're matched up perfectly against each other. The only thing is that with the 49ers having so many injuries and their inability to get to the quarterback, that's going to let Sam Darnold be able to sit back there and just, hopefully not have to force any kind of passes, and he can complete the ball down the field to make some completion touchdowns. I don't think the score is going to be high. I think it's going to be similar to what the first game was. What was like 17-14, and one of the last second field goal to win the game. I think it'll be like that. So I'll say that it'll be the same thing. I'm going to go 21-20 Seattle.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick Sam Darnold pumpkin mode in this game. I think that's just a playoff thing, and I think I called it too early a couple weeks ago against the Rams, and he came out and showed out. So I'm not going to do that now. But I do agree that at some point he just is who he is. And San Francisco at home, back against the wall. Clubber D, did you get that over under?
Yeah, I put in a private check. It's Seattle negative 2.5. 47.5 over, money line negative 148.
Wow. So Seattle, Peach, 2.5-point favorites on the road. What are your thoughts?
I think that's based off injuries would be my guess. But I still think Darnold goes pumpkin mode, guys. But how fantastic of a way to end the season. Two big-time division rivals that hate each other, not only for the division, but for that number 1 seed. You can't ask for anything better. The NFL schedule makers are just loving themselves right now.
Great job.
I think the Niners still are going to win this thing. I just think Purdy last week showed me he's back. And like I said, I don't believe in Darnold, so I'm not going to pick them. I think they're a few players away from being real great, though. So Seattle next year maybe, but not this year, my friend. San Francisco. And I do want to say, I think we saw maybe the greatest work. If this was wrestling, it might have been the greatest work in the history of works, right? And to anybody that knows what a work is, it's, professional wrestling is fake. So it's when you get worked and you think something is real that's really not. The biggest work of all time is Mr. Dion Clubs. Week after week, telling me that his fantasy football team fucking sucks. And then this week, in the group chat, I see that he wins the damn thing. What is going on here? Wasn't it a work the whole time?
Look here.
Omar, explain to me how he told us every week that my fantasy team, woe is me, and then he wins the damn thing.
Yeah, he won with me last year and won my league. So
I lost Laporta. Okay, barely did anything. Ayuk never played. I lose Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love in the same week, Judkins in the same week, Kittle in the same week, and I come back and win. All right, Brees Hall, Chris Olave, all praise to me. Okay, because of my coaching. All right. You try to block me by getting Tyler Shock. You should have started him. You should have benched Bo Nix and started Tyler Shock, but you didn't, and you deserve to lose. Come on.
There you go. That's hilarious speech. Shout out to Brandon. Has San Francisco 33-30 at home.
I said that yesterday. Man, why is this guy still in the chat?
Fan Bell has it 42-39, high scoring like Clubber D said, but Seattle wins according to him. I'm going with San Francisco again, just like Tampa Bay, back against the wall at home. If they win, they get the number 1 seed. Why not come out? Huh?
Who'd Peach pick?
I picked San Fran. I said Purdy's back. I think Purdy's back after watching last week, and I don't trust him.
He's lights out right now.
I didn't give a score though, but I think it's going to be low scoring. I think 20-17.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be on the lower scoring side. I don't think it's going to be at high, but I would probably give it maybe a 30-24 San Francisco victory. 30-24. All right, cool. And yeah, I got you. Hey, start rolling over now. I'll have everything packed up and I'll jump in the car. Start coming now. All right, shout out to everybody.
While I was driving down.
I know, right? Just like trying to jump in the car while it's moving. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. Thank you so much. Again, check us out tomorrow night. Sunday Showdown. We will be back after the day games, before the night games, 7:15 Eastern. So make sure you tap in, subscribe to Ball and Buds, BALLAND BUDS, handy QR code up at the top. We'll take you to all our social medias, including Clubber D's YouTube at Clubber D. You can find Shane at Peachomania on X, and you can find Dirty Mojo at Dirty Mojo on Instagram. I've got to roll. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Hey,
Watch
again,
Three Amigos. It's a great movie.
Three Amigos, great
That
movie.
canteen
Happy
scene.
New Year's, everybody. The whole show, I had a special guest here. He wasn't impressed with none of
Oh,
our
Berto.
jokes.
Oh,
He was
Berto.
impressed with none of our jokes. He stayed quiet, and I don't know if he
man.
liked the show or not.
He
I'll ask him when we're off the air.
Did he fart like Bronson does every fucking time?
Oh,
though?
of course he did.
I
Of
kicked him
course
out. I
he
kicked
did.
him out.
Ugh.
He woke me up last night. I was ready to punch him. I was like, "Who is that? Man, smelling like that." Jesus.
Happy
Good
New
dog
Year to all. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, everybody that subscribed, thank you, Fambo. Y'all tap in with Fambo Podcast and everybody else who came in. Hey, our brother Chris Haynes showed up for the first time ever. We love
Hainsworth.
that. Love to see you, Canteen. We'll see you next week as well. The dog didn't hear good enough. That's funny. Thank you for that. Anyways, so thank you everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Catch us tomorrow, Sunday Showdown next week, college football, and we are out.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure four. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this micro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show. Introducing the Ballin' Bud 703 Boys Crew, Clubber D, Dirty Mojo, Shane Peach, and the Sports Professor. Welcome to Sunday Showdown.